Hello, this is Rex from Rex Recites, and today I have for you two medium-length poems and two very short sketches at the very end. So the first one is by Robert Service, called A Grain of Sand. Now usually we know Service for writing poems about the Yukon Territory, the harsh life up there, but this one is entirely different. It's more scientific, more imaginative, and much more philosophical than most of the things that he has written. Now, one of the old questions that people have asked is which is most numerous, the number of stars in the sky or the number of grains of sand on the earth in all the seashores and the deserts? Now, it turns out that scientists in the modern days, with their instruments and ways of estimating these things, have said that there are 4 or 5 times more stars in the sky than there are grains of sand on the earth. Now, if that sounds a little bit wrong to you, let's just think for a minute about the stars in the sky. The Earth, our sun, and our solar system, is in the Milky Way galaxy. The Milky Way galaxy is one galaxy among about 2 billion in the observable universe. Now, in the Milky Way galaxy alone, scientists figure there are about 200 billion stars. In fact, and they figure that there are at least approximately maybe 100 billion planets around all of these stars, somewhat similar to the Earth, our planet, around the Sun. So a physical similarity. And so this is a background to Service's poem, A Grain of Sand. And this is the way it goes. If starry space no limit knows, and sun succeeds to sun, there is little reason to suppose that our earth is the only one. Mid countless constellations cast, 1,000,000 worlds there may be, with each its god to bless or blast and steer to destiny. Just think, 1,000,000 gods or so to guide each vital stream, and above all to boss the show, a deity supreme. Such magnitudes as these oppress my mind. From cosmic space it swings. That's why I'm always glad to find relief in little things. Just look. In the hollow of my hand, as the earth around careens, it holds a single grain of sand. I wonder what it means. Aha! If I had eyes to see and brain to understand, I might think the mystery of life is decoded in this grain of sand. Now, this poem of Robert Service is sort of a more elaborate treatment of a statement from William Blake, a famous poet way back in about the turn of the 19th century. And he wrote a longish poem called The Auguries of Innocence, round about just past 1800. And he devotes about a couple of lines in this poem to what Service has talked about in the poem that I've just quoted to you. And Blake says that if you hold a grain of sand in your hand, you're holding infinity or eternity in your hand. And this is what Service, this one thing that Service says, at somewhat greater length. So there we have Service's poem, The Grain of Sand, and Blake's reference in his poem to a grain of sand. And I hope that you saw that there is quite a correspondence here, and it's appreciated the elaboration of the idea by Robert Service. The next poem is a poem called Sympathy by Paul Dunbar, and he speaks of sympathy in connection with birds in cages, with birds who are enslaved inside cages. And so he begins this way. I know what the caged bird feels, alas, when the sun shines bright on the upland slopes, and the wind stirs soft through the whispering grass, and the river flows like a stream of glass, and the last bird sings, and the last bud opes, and the faint perfume from its chalice steals. I know what the caged bird feels. I know why the caged bird beats his wing till its blood is red on the cruel bars. For he must fly back to his perch and cling, when fain he would be on the bough a swing. The pain still throbs through his old scars, and they pulse again with a keener sting. I know why he beats his wing. I know why the bird sings, ah me, when his wing is bruised and his bosom sore, and he beats his bars and he would be free. It is not a carol of joy or glee, but a prayer that he sends from his bosom's core, and a plea that upward to heaven he flings. I know why the caged bird sings. This poem by Dunbar about the caged bird is likewise has some similarity to William Blake's Auguries of Innocence, as did the poem of Robert Service. William Blake now rather sums up the idea of Paul Dunbar in Sympathy in the Caged Bird, when he says that a robin redbreast in a cage puts all heaven in a rage. In other videos, I have invited viewers to send in a poem to me if they desire, from any source whatsoever, that I will memorize and recite on a future video. So today I have two very short selections from one resident of Issaquah, Washington, where I live, and his name is Roy Anderson, and he got in touch with us some weeks ago, and he has given me two little snippets to include in this video. He has not entitled them because they're very short. One of them says, quote, "Be the skin of laughter in the cosmic winds," unquote. Now we know that laughter has a good reputation as a healer, it heals all things, and it introduces positive feelings and humor and so forth. And he calls it the skin of laughter. The universe, this cosmic winds, and can contain skins of laughter, or objects such as some human beings who produce laughter and joy in other people. His other one refers to the fact of stating some sort of thought or idea that a person might have. And he says then, for example, that our thoughts are clothed in the majesty of language, but some people are wearing rags. And his idea here, as he has explained it to me, is that if serious, meaningful language is used to expound or explore a thought, this is good, and it's compared to fine clothing that a person might wear physically. On the other hand, some people use crude language, maybe even violent or abusive language, and he says that they figuratively are dressed in rags. So I hope that today you have enjoyed all three offerings, and if you have not yet subscribed to the series to Rex Recites, please do so below. Thank you. Goodbye.